But to speak about Xbox proper, right? We've already just kind of dipped our toes into the topic. Hey, I don't know if you guys noticed, but that device you're on right now, this is an Xbox. It's an Xbox. That phone, Tim, Xbox. Laptop, Xbox. That's ranked. That iPad, it's an Xbox. You know, I don't know if you guys have. I don't know if they drove the point home over this past week. It's all an Xbox, and because with an Xbox app on a controller, why do you even need this console that we made?
Just make sure in the thumbnail you have Mr. Smith. In that one scene of Matrix Revolution, it's just a whole bunch of Mr. Smiths, and it just says Xbox X. Just do that. Just do that. That has to be the thumbnail. No, it has to be the thumbnail. I'm serious.
Yeah,
it has to be the thumbnail.
Yeah, I think Tim and I will go first because obviously, like I said, that's when you're already an Xbox expert, and we're more talking about from the outside looking in. I'm gonna say it like this: I think Microsoft is cutting off any potential threads of victory that doesn't include Game Pass. And I don't think that's a good idea. So when I see this is an Xbox and so is this type commercial, you can launch the app. And meanwhile, for us who are a little bit more up on games, know that, hey, half of these things that you're showing don't even run the cloud app that well. Hey, let's have that conversation. Yeah, sure. You're showing this Rogue Ally, but I've heard the stories. Like you're showing this TV. I've heard the stories about how those things don't run the greatest. So your infrastructure for this advertisement, while I get it, right? You want to have the masses be like, oh, I don't have to necessarily purchase a expensive console to be part of the Xbox ecosystem, right? In an ideal world, maybe I would buy an Xbox controller and launch the Xbox app off my laptop or whatever, right? Just so I can use Game Pass. But I know that it doesn't work yet. So then it makes me think back, gentlemen, to the Xbox One era where they come out and they're like, hey, your system will come with a Kinect camera because when you set up this Xbox to your speakers in that room, you're able to tell that Xbox to put on the sports game. You're able to launch games. You're able to do all these Microsoft ecosystems that we have not built up, nor will we support. But welcome to the Xbox experience, right? That's all I kept seeing every time I saw the commercial. I'm like, this feels very familiar, and this did not work out the best last time. So I just feel like, again, I don't want Xbox to fail. I think they help move the culture, the gaming culture forward. I think they have their place, but this public identity crisis has gone on for too long at this point. It's getting to it's a certain point where it's like, he's just finding himself, right? Late teens, early 20s. He's just trying to figure it out. At about 30, 35, it's like, fam, what is you a bum? Like he might just be a bum. Like that potential is gone. This is just who he is. But Ted, what do you think before you turn it over to Esra? What do you think about this whole this is an Xbox situation?
They forgot that they made a console. They forgot that they made a console, and that comes with a reality aspect that you're supposed to support your product. Like, yes, I get it, accessibility, but then, it has to be smart. Like, hey, if you want to, visit the PlayStation store while you're at work, okay, yeah, here's the PlayStation app. You could, put your credit card on file. You could pre-order and do preload. Oh yeah, by the time you get home from work, your game is already loaded on your system. Mm-hmm. Okay, that is a connectivity between, yes, your cell phone through an app, but it has a direct contact to the product. Mm-hmm. I just kind of feel like, they know that they've been taking a lot of hits, and I just feel like they just want to give you, when you're frustrated, they'll be like, here. Mm-hmm. But then it's just like their kind of final send-off in a way. I do feel like they are going to be fizzled out. I do.
You think so?
Yeah, I feel like they are going to be fizzled out. It just, it kind of just stands the test of time, man. You remember that's the comment that I was saying earlier. where I was thinking about the times of before, like PC, Nintendo, Sony is just. I do feel like, are we reverting back to that particular time? Are we? I mean, there's certain things that kind of support it when you really look at it. And when you really look at it, it's just like they've just lost a lot of significant amount of momentum. Like even with them, like we've been talking about the horrors of Sony and the studios that they bought, but look at Microsoft, look at Xbox. Like you bought the Hellblade 2, which was very sad to me, very sad, and that just and
Beautiful tech demo, right? Gorgeous tech demo.
and it's just. And it just really makes me think about all the other properties. It's just like I kind of feel like they're scared. It's like and that's the thing about these companies. Like nobody wants to do accountability anymore when it comes to money. Everybody just wants to find a scapegoat, blame it on them, and then charge you the overhaul. Like even upcoming for like this, I would say holiday season. Like, what do they really have? And even somebody released, I think it was like Capcom's numbers for their games. Like in terms of like systems that it was purchased on, it was Sony and Nintendo, and Xbox was this small bar to the left. Like like when Peter from Family Guy, like no,
Yeah,
over there.
Buddy thinks he's part of the team.
And it's very interesting, man. Especially like when Jory was talking about the Xbox 360 era. Like, yeah, bro, that was a very interesting window of healthy competition. But after that, bro, they just something happened.
Yeah,
I
there was
guess
a moment in time where like I see Xbox games, I
No,
was like, man, I kind of do want to play that.
yeah, no, man.
I
Let's.
think I think the PS4's momentum was too much for them. And it kind of got cycled over into the PS5 to an extent, I would say. I kind of felt like the PS4 was such a big success that even no matter what, people's faith in Sony was so restored that yes, I want a PS5. Yes, I want all of this stuff. Yes, I want X, Y, and Z. And now they're reaping the rewards of that. But but I do feel like if they don't, it's tough, man. It really is. I just kind of feel like they're, how when you said about Nintendo, like you're just doing all this other extra stuff for the Switch, but you're not giving us what we really want. I think that's what they're in this now too. Oh yeah, like the smoke and mirrors. Like, oh yeah, you could do this with your Xbox, you could do that, but then yeah, you could do that everywhere. But what
But
about this
you can't.
console that
Yeah.
what about this console that I just paid all this money for that you're not really devoting to? Where are the games? Because yes, the perfect,
2025 is
yeah,
when they're coming.
because you got to really think about it. It's like people. I guess the way the mind works is like people love that feeling of exclusivity. So they want
Yes.
to know what is it, why did I buy your system? What is it coming out that I feel like is such a privilege to have here
Right.
in this within this ecosystem?
Right. Why should all the friends want to come by my house? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
oh, yeah, you're absolutely
And,
right.
and then that's just becoming little by little. I mean, as of now, everybody went their own separate ways in terms of what they want to display at gaming shows and stuff like that. And it's just like, okay, well, now we're just nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, bro, like, we predicted, like, damn, are we going to get at least one state of play before the Game Awards? Like, no,
No.
the nominations are already out.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, I guess everybody just.
Right. There's a whole place's anniversary and whatnot, but whatever, right? But S Rank, talk to us, man. Get your grievances out, bro. I know it's heavy. I know it's heavy.
Um, like I just feel honestly with the way they pitched it, the way they pitched the product, right? Like I'm not a marketing genius. I'm not going to pretend that I am. I'm just someone who's talking from the heart. We all are. We just talk from the heart. We're not like super experts. I can tell you what I like about Xbox and what I loved about Xbox and why I believe in the product. I believe that Xbox had the best platform and the best infrastructure. Their online was amazing. The Xbox was the first to
Hmm.
do online effectively. Their campaigning
Hmm.
at the time, their advertisement, it was so me because there was so much edge about it. The One of my favorite menus to this day is the Xbox original Xbox menu with the like the nuclear reactor inside. Like you're basically seeing the atoms come together and compress together, and boom, it says Xbox. Like it doesn't like it cuts open, just the sharp and edginess to it. The game's the sci-fi, the level of sci-fi that was being expressed through that game, through that console era. 360, jump in. Yo, man, just jump in. But I just feel like it got too marketing got too friendly. Like when I say friendly, like hey, this is a console. It got too like gated community in a way, right? It didn't need to be that. You
Mm.
were it could have
Mm.
just stayed the way it is. I feel like the staff is full of minivan moms, soccer moms with like nothing but a team of Karens waiting to ruin everybody's fun. People skateboarding on the park. The Xbox felt like it was made by a skateboarder guy, and some BMX dudes that came together and say, "Hey, man, we just want to make a console with games." And it went from X Games to uh, My Little Pony pageants. I don't know.
Mm.
I actually don't like the direction it's going, and I understand what they're doing, but there was a better way to market it. They could have, hey, listen, yeah, let's focus on the product, but hey, listen, also it could have been like here's the Xbox Series X and show a whole bunch of branch, it being the root and the branch to okay.
Mm.
These are connected too.
Put
It
in the
never
console
should have
first.
been
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
you saying this is an
Mm.
Xbox and this is an Xbox, and that is an Xbox. I'm like, yo, how much are they paying you to get results? I almost feel like Phil Spencer is angry at us for wanting to stay console based because they want to expand and well, we don't want to deal with this competition anymore. We can't recover, so we're gonna throw in the towel. We're gonna try to turn into. But you guys don't even do that the best.
Right.
Microsoft Windows is only popular because it's everywhere. It's not that it's that they're innovative. It's just a matter of time before someone makes another OS.
I would argue that it's innovative. I would argue that's innovative. I think it's stayed ahead of the competition in different ways, but I think gaming wise, it has not. I
Okay.
think they're taking the experience that they've had on the computer side and thinking that it applies to Xbox when those two things do not cross in the
And
slightest.
how do you tell somebody like Satya Nadella that you don't know what you're doing? You don't even play games. Like you don't.
Mm.
You should also respect that you don't know. I don't know about cars. I don't know how to win a Yu-Gi-Oh game. I would have to
Mm.
humble myself to say, hey, how do I win this Yu-Gi-Oh game? Or you see who's a success. Um, the thing with Microsoft is and it had it with the 360, but it went to that brick brain. I'm gonna press X. I only want two buttons. I'm going to only buy Madden and maybe Frozen Sports and call it a day. Like they're very, and I understand, but like the original Xbox welcomed people more to that level of mystery and explorative genres than the Microsoft that we know today. Like they marketed better. Like I didn't. There was no restrictions. Like because they present to me a gated community within their advertisement. Like, hey, come and join, man. Your kids are safe here. Versus it just being like Sony just is. It doesn't try to say hey, this is good for your kids. There's a section for kids. Just like Netflix. Netflix doesn't advertise Netflix Kids. Like Nick Jr., it doesn't have to do that. It says Netflix for kids. Go ahead. Send your
Mm.
kids there. Microsoft is trying to be like this community center home that those aren't your fans. And you're
Right.
isolating the people that will bring the people that you build on, your pillars. You're trying to remove that without evacuating everybody in the building and doing proper demolition procedures that you need to take down a building. Like, you're going to lose your fans. You're going to lose the people that invested in the console. It is men. It is the age gap is higher. I just think this is a terrible decision, and yeah, they need understand. Like, nobody likes Game Pass without my You made Game Pass within the framework of Xbox. Keep it there.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
the iOS is glued to the Apple product. It doesn't try to, hey, now you can get iOS on your Android or Mac, and it doesn't do that. What are you doing? It doesn't work that way. And you thinking you can be the Netflix of gaming, the fact that your Microsoft already puts a bad taste in everybody's mouth. I mean, if there were other alternatives, I'm pretty sure people would leave. That's the point I'm making. Like,
No, no,
it's
I
not
think
a,
you're right. I
you
like
know,
because to be honest, like Game Pass is really the only thing that I hate on Xbox for. I'm like, dang, I wish Sony had something like that. You know, like
and
that's your
and that's what breaks my heart.
one
And that's what breaks
your
my
one
heart.
lifeline.
And that's what breaks my heart is like they've forgotten what they do well. And if I were in charge of the marketing, I would go back to the Microsoft of the Edge. Because that doesn't
Mm,
speak to your crowd. You're asking everybody to be neutered, right? I feel like the Xbox now just wants Unix playing their games. They just
mm,
they want Unix playing the game. It feels like I get more testosterone or more edge from a PlayStation. I don't have to, like, you
mm,
can literally go on the PlayStation Store and find games from these Japanese creators, these indie games, and I'm like, oh, this is a nice piece of change for a nice hey, for three chicken sandwiches that I saved. I'm gonna spend my money here. I just don't get that from Microsoft right now. I'm looking at the ad campaigns and the advertisements, and you can slowly see that if they stayed at the 360 form of advertisement, I would have been fine. But this advertisement now, it's just not working, man. And the green that they're using, that's like Uber Eats green. What are you doing? Like,
yeah,
what are you doing?
it
What are
wasn't
you
the greatest
doing,
commercial.
man?
I'm not gonna
It's
hold
not
you.
it's not the greatest commercial. It's not the greatest advertisement. Who's there? Like, who are these people? Who are the staff members there, man? What's their
What do you
aim?
think about what do you think about Phil Spencer saying that he doesn't see any red lines when it comes to potential
Oh,
Xbox first party games going
listen.
multi-platform,
Um
including Halo?
I've turned in my jersey, man. I turned in my jersey. I've turned in my jersey. Like, I'm serious. The jersey's done. Like,
You went
I'm
to the front office
only
like, yo, I request a trade, yo. I can't do
I'm
this more.
only I am only with Microsoft right now because of the Xbox. I got my old classic games, right? And I'm fine with that. I got my library that I had from high school with me. I can't, there's an attachment there. Now, if I sell my gamer tag and they buy it for whatever I request, I don't mind playing them games all over again on my nice PC.
On
I'm
your
going
PC.
on GOG and I'm gonna own my game. I'm
Hmm.
gonna own my game. I'm gonna go on GOG and I'm gonna own my game. I'm just gonna wait for Elon Musk to make his new game to where you own your games on some 19 picobyte drive that costs probably 5 stacks. But hey, it's yours. That's a
Hmm.
sacrifice I'm willing to make, my friend. You mean little Jimmy and Timmy can also play their games until I go into my 70s? Sign me up. But I'm just
Hmm.
overall, it's not the Microsoft I want. Xbox should have. It just didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. Microsoft got too involved, and therefore they implemented their business practices, which only works for their things because it's like, think about it. Look at the average Microsoft user. They just want Windows to do XYZ. They don't do it to make um you know they don't do it to cure or have an AI run this software so like it can run as efficient as possible. You know, they're charging you for everything now. You got to pay a subscription for Word, and it's just I never wanted them to go out like this. It's like you do all this to turn into Sega. You buy the blueprints for the Dreamcast only to revert back to first form, like to digivolve, to de-evolution. Like, you know what I'm saying? To
Mm.
de-evolve back into the digi-egg. Like, I don't get it. What's the point? Like, how do these companies not see their history and just, oh, it can't happen to us because we made X, Y. Like, no, you're not exempt. You're not exempt. I don't know who's a part of this team. I don't know if the people there, they just don't play they're not gamers at heart. Like, you don't win the console war being a C at gaming or creating games. You don't win,
But the thing is,
you
I don't
know.
think they want to win the console war anymore, right? I think we've heard it multiple times from Phil Spencer, very indirectly, of like, look, we've waved the white flag on that. Nintendo and Sony have lapped us at this point. We can't compete with them. I think the issue that I keep seeing is that the things that they're now pivoting to, you don't have the infrastructure for it, right? Because again, it's like your Xbox cloud gaming is still admittedly a couple years away from being solid, but you're telling me in this advertisement that that's what you're going to do. You're going to have a handheld, which is a good idea, but now you're telling me it's a couple years out. Then the few things that keep y'all cemented in Xbox culture, there are no red lines to what can go multi-platform.
I feel
To
this
what
is what
Tim's point earlier, like, then why would I buy an Xbox console?
conflict. It's definitely a conflict of vision. So this is Satya Nadella's vision. Thank you very much. And it's, in the Xbox. I mean, Phil has to turn to a parakeet right now. He has to. Him saying
I
this,
mean, Phil's
and
hands ain't clean either. His
no,
hands
it's
ain't clean
not.
either, but I see what you're
It's
saying.
not. But I feel like he got the, hey, listen, you're gonna do what I say, or else. And Phil's like, okay, my pension is gonna be due in 3 months. So let's do it. Um, maybe I don't know. I'm just talking, man. I don't know. I
No,
just think
I
it's
did want to get your thoughts. 'Cause to me, I'm like, I feel like it's one of those things of like, it's
yeah,
it's like when you see somebody beating themselves, right? You're like, I see so much more in you, but you can't get out of your own way, and I don't know why. I don't know
yeah.
why.
You have like, to be honest with you, they think it's impossible, but it's not as impossible as they think. The reason why people left the reason why people left their console, you have to analyze and you have to be truthful with yourself, right? People that want to see Microsoft lose and the people that want to see Microsoft win, or the people that neutrally see both sides. You just needed to release a good product and be consistent with, right? You lost your fan base because of what? You neglected them. You saying you having Don Matrix say, if you want to play your old games, buy the go ahead and stay on your 360. What? After everything I invested into this library, I can't take it with me, but I could do it with the original Xbox. I'm out. And so there you go. PlayStation fan base grew within minutes. The
Mm.
DRM. How do you guys trade games? Well, I can't share my game with my neighbor. It's only doing that advertisement commercial. This is how you share games, right? And let's not act like Sony wasn't gonna do the DRM thing either. They were.
They weren't.
They
They
saw
were.
they s- they saw the backlash and they said,
We're
yeah.
long time Sony fans. We know what Sony.
So
Oh, they
so
okay. We'll just pivot. We'll pivot.
yeah, yeah. So, good,
Backpedal.
like good thing they called an audible like Peyton Manning. Good thing, right?
Yeah.
But now, yeah, yeah, yeah. They, so with
Yeah.
that, man, I just think all this to now negate from the console to like what? Why should I buy your console if it's everywhere? And then you're telling me it's everywhere, but it's not good everywhere. So why even tell me to go everywhere? Like what you said, like the infrastructure is not built. We don't have Tokyo internet. We don't have that level of speed internet for a game to not have any lag. Like, because you're looking at the Gen Alpha numbers, like this is the same prediction that you guys thought everybody's gonna do mobile games. Mobile games are gonna take over the world. I'm like, no, you don't want to have the cell phone. And it made sense. I don't want to play Resident Evil 4 remake on my phone with Twitter and Facebook and constant text messages. Then I'm playing the game, somebody calls me. My phone is gonna be
And
fried,
mind you,
man.
your battery might explode.
Batteries,
And
yeah,
your
free
battery's gonna
falling.
explode. And then you want me to play this on what? How many gigs of RAM my phone comes with? The basic RAM gigs of RAM comes with 6 gigs, and you're telling me to play these? Come on, it's just not feasible. It's not going to be feasible probably till the year
Yeah,
2045. Then okay, I can see that. But as far as right now, man, no. I just think Microsoft
yeah.
has shot themselves in the foot. They've quietly waved the white flag. I mean, the Microsoft team that we have now aren't full of competitors. They're full of people that want to build a utopia. Xbox wants to build a utopia right now, and I just don't think that works, especially in today's market. So I
Mm.
don't think it won't work because you have giant sleeping giants waiting for you to be like, oh, okay. Now you got this 15-year-old kid who now 15-year-old kid or 16-year-old kid in his basement creating a new software because you guys wanted to be okay and now it's taking over. You guys want to hire him and he says,
Mm.
hey, that's my thoughts, man. I've personally am every day just going into mental rehab and saying, okay, this is it. This is it. This is it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Tim,
Buying
you were
my
gonna say something
piece.
earlier.
Um, I was also going to say, like, I feel like they're also disoriented. Like, like when you take a like an unexpected blow and it's taking you a while to catch yourself. And sometimes you're just doing things just because to feel tethered to something. I feel like that's what they're doing as well. I feel like they're disoriented as a company. When you're disoriented, you squander your resources.
Yeah, I agree. I think cumulatively speaking, I think it's one of those things where, I mean, again, like you just use the comparisons to life of like we all deal with our own personal traumas, right? Whether they be external, internal, combination of both, and it's about how you recover and pivot, right? You're never the same person you were prior to that trauma, but you figure out how to become whole again, whatever that may look like. And to your point, I think that's the thing of like Xbox never went to rehab. You know what I'm saying? Like they never got the therapy done. They never did the work. Like it's just like, hey, we lost that constant generation, and well, what do you want us to do? It's like heal, man, heal. Like look within, like,
How are you
and
gonna
try to
sell?
figure out how to,
How are you gonna sell the next system now? Like, how are you gonna sell it now?
So what?
If there is.
No, there will be. There will be. There will be another Xbox for sure.
And,
Will there
and
be
what's the
games?
point
Is
of
the real
this?
question. But
What's
there
the
will be
point
another
of this, right?
Xbox.
What's the point? What's
Another
the point
Xbox
of
will
any?
exist. Xbox first party titles is where things get a little dicey.
I congratulate Sarah Bond on getting these games from Japan. On Xbox, she's responsible and her team. I congratulate her. I'm happy for her, but it's just like a lot of my grievances and my frustrations. I know it's Microsoft. It's not Team Xbox. They just because they did this, they borrowed that money from them. They got to deal with. They have to deal with the consequences now. And I guess Phil right now is
And
trying to
that's
buy
part of
himself
it.
time to move freely
Yeah.
from them and to hopefully recuperate. He took a chance. Now this is the backlash. Hopefully, um, you know, I mean, they make great products, man. They make a great console. They learned from the Red Rings of Death, but it was more of a fan issue. But hey, man, this was that was also a blow, but it wasn't as major as what they did with these Xbox One. Like these guys, people bought your consoles for games. That's it, for games. And that's what it's always going to be about. It's just going to take a different shape
Yeah.
or form,
Everything else is just a perk. Yeah.
but everything else
I
is a
agree.
perk, man. Everything else is a perk.
Yeah.
Like the perk is that I can buy a game through this app. The perk is that if I have enough power and juice, I can finish the rest of my Halo game probably while I'm on my break. But I know when it's time for me to go home, I get to actually have the steak dinner with my mashed
On my
potatoes
4K TV, my
on my
60 frames per
4K
second
TV,
with
with
yeah.
my whole setup. I don't want to always play my game on the road. I don't always want to hold the handheld in my hand. I have a house for a reason, right? Not an
I
RV.
don't want that radiation on my hand.
Yeah, that's another thing, right? You got to buy stickers,
Right. That's
so you got to buy
that's the thing
stickers
we
for
all
the game.
immediately move away from. Like, you're not supposed to have this device on you at all times on your body, but right? Hey, if we all got it, what's the problem, right? That's the American way.